we serve the one who is, like my pastor says on Sunday mornings.
Yes. Okay, let's get it. I love 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 it. I know I'm not as bright as I'm normally, y'all. I do apologize, but it's dark. So thank you so much for joining us. This is Lady Myya. I am with a very special guest. I love this man. This man can cook. Okay, so my Mayan tribe, please welcome Mr. Clay Morris.
Good evening, everybody. What a journey it has been to get to this point. And man, I tell you what, I'm so super excited and just honored to be your guest, Lady Myya, and the relationship that we've cultivated together and collaborated with, so yeah, I'm just excited to be here and just ready to hit the ground running, and let's talk some cooking, let's talk some inspiration, some motivation, some positivity, and hey, let's shake it up a little bit, huh?
Listen, I'm very, very, very excited for this opportunity. Now, I did want to tell you what the topic of the week was, and kind of get just your look see of what you see as far as your journey, and the
Challenges.
the word of the
Yeah.
day, the challenges that you've overcome with being, first a man of God, secondly, a husband, thirdly, an author, you guys, an author of an inspired cookbook.
Yeah, challenges. It's funny that funny not in a haha way, but it's really neat how as I've been following you on your platforms, I kind of had a heads up on what part of what we were going to be talking about tonight, and the challenges, and sometimes life's a challenge. I mean, life's not easy. Yeah, it doesn't. It's I mean, let's just take for instance the challenge of putting this meeting together and this gathering together. Right? We were originally supposed to meet up August the 28th on a Saturday. Well, guess what happened?
Everything.
Hurricane Ida hit South Louisiana and came, and man, she left a mark, and she bruised us, and so that was a challenge in itself. And through the challenges and through the troubles and through the valleys, we come up, and we come down in the valley, and that challenge, the challenge on the 28th and leading up to that, because I was jacked up, ready to go. And next thing you know, God had something else for me to do that weekend. God had me manning the generator outside, making sure we had power, because we had our daughter and her husband. And their two little ones, one of which recently came home from St. Jude, so they couldn't be without power. So we had no trees in our subdivision. It's a fairly new subdivision, so we were like, okay, we've got generator, we've got a portable air conditioning unit, we've got the things that we need and each other. And so we had to put this meeting on the back burner as we traveled through those challenges. Just leaving work tonight, that was a challenge in itself, because I ran into some unexpected traffic, and fortunately, I said a few little mental sentence prayers and said, Lord, I know you're going to pull me through. And I pulled in the driveway 20 minutes ago, was able to relax a little bit and get ready. So challenges are they're there to build us. I think that they're there to sharpen us up. They're there to equip us. They're really there to. I mean, let's think about it. Why do we have challenges? Some of the challenges that we face are unavoidable. Some of them are self-inflicted, right? We have choices that we make. We get up every day and make a choice. We make choices all day long. When we make the wrong choice, then we have to go through those challenges on top of the challenges that we're already facing, right? So it's life is challenging, but it's also so rewarding. It's so rewarding.
I look at a lot of the challenges as well as lessons. Sometimes there's things that we need to go through in order to be better going forward. And so I look at those things as very, very pivotal lessons for you to go forward, not just for you. A lot of them are just for you, but for others. You can show others, hey, look, don't go that way. You may not want to do that, and only the people that love you are going to try to wean you away from the troubles and those challenges that can really do harm to you. So I definitely believe that.
Absolutely. Our loved ones, they want to protect us.
Yeah.
And it's natural. We want to protect those we love, right?
Yes.
And when we see somebody that we love and that we care about going through a challenge, going through a struggle, we want to be the fix it people, right? And make it go away, especially when it comes to our children and our grandchildren, right? I mean, I've got, I am blessed. It says the Bible tells us about blessed is a man whose quiver is full. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got a pretty full quiver. We've got a blended family of 7 children, and they have been able to get their quivers full and still working on that, filling the quiver, if you will. And we've been blessed. We now have 8 grandchildren. So, for those that we love, we don't want them to hurt. We don't want them to hurt. But we also know that the hurt that they're going through is equipping, and we know because we've been around a little bit. We've been around the block a little bit. We faced a lot of things already.
Sure.
And we know that as we come through and travel that journey, that we're going to be able to use that and fall back on that experience and help somebody that's going through the same thing in the future. So it's challenges are just what it is. I mean, they are a challenge, but if we and it's really tough to see when we're in that moment, right?
Yes.
When we're in that moment, it's tough for us to see that, okay, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train coming my way. There is a brighter tomorrow. This trouble is not gonna stick around forever. Right. So but it's hard for us to see that because we're right here. We're right there in front of us. And if we there was a podcast, a YouTube show that I tuned into today, and I'm going to give you some props, LadyMyya. I watched you on an interview today on a show, and where you you talked about just that. And I don't remember how long ago it was put together,
Right.
but the words that you shared was talking about stepping back and being able to see the bigger picture. And as we go through those trials, sometimes we have to force ourselves to do that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you know what? It's so interesting. I love that talk that I got a chance to do with Mr. Eric Deloach. He is he likes to dig. Oh, sir. If you
Oh,
really,
yes.
he likes to dig. And he started asking questions I didn't even think about in a while, in a long time. And I just looked at it as, you know what? I am an open book. Let's talk about it. Let's have that conversation because this is meant for someone to hear. And I thought for so many times, nobody really wants to hear about Lady Myya. Like it's okay. They don't really want to know. I much rather highlight those around me. And so just him asking the particular questions, I'm like, oh, that was a really good interview. You don't
And it
say,
really was.
like,
It really was. And I want to encourage you, your listeners, if they haven't seen it yet, hey, pull that thing up, dial it up, and tune into it, and lean into it, and really, really, really listen, because it was phenomenal. It was incredible. Thank you so much for doing that and sitting down with Eric. And yeah, that was incredible.
oh my goodness. I love talking to you because you talk about my favorite thing, food.
Food,
But
food.
like,
Let's eat.
but you have this story. You have this poise about you that just gets me. And I'm like, I'm mesmerized out of this whole situation not only just because of who you are, but who you represent. You represent a, a, a large population of people, especially in your area. You represent fathers, you represent men of that are believers, you represent those that want more, and that's always a great thing. And know what you have to do to make that happen. And honey, you take the bull by the horns and just go. I love it.
Yeah, it's thank you so much for the affirmation. Everybody needs to hear words of affirmation. And one thing that I've learned, and I haven't. I mean, I'm a recently published author. April of this year is when my book came out, Inspired Cooking, and but in that journey and in the process of writing the book, I was able to partner up with an incredible guy with Empowered Publishing Worldwide, and the process that Dominique laid out for me was one that was a journey in itself, and it had its challenges, right? But when we step out in faith, when we step out of our comfort zone, when we get off our couch where we're nice and comfortable and got our nice little blanket on and feet on the ottoman and sitting back, and when we break that comfort zone, amazing things begin to happen. Amazing things. And I'm humbled every day by the feedback that we get, the different opportunities that come up. It's really the journey is still going, and it's exciting. We just a little bit about cooking. tomorrow, my wife and I are I'm going to be cooking a spaghetti dinner for about probably end up feeding about 50 or 60 people. And the way that came about was I was involved in a ministry and outreach through our church, and it was a deal where we brought groceries to families in need for right before Thanksgiving. This was very recent, right? So this was a couple of weeks ago. Well, one of the ladies that it was the apartment complex that we drew, because they, we had a handful of names, and they were all in the same apartment complex. And that apartment complex has got 42 units. Every one of them are elderly folks, are all fixed income, government subsidized housing. Okay. And every one of those folks lived by themselves. So there's 42 units and 42 people, right? And one of the ladies that we sat down with and was in a wheelchair, and she had recently hurt her ankle, so she was immobilized. She was in a wheelchair. Her next door neighbor, who my wife was visiting with, Michelle, was visiting with her, and the lady was with a walker, right? And her words to my wife was, I didn't know how I was gonna pull off Thanksgiving dinner for me and my neighbor. So come to find out, the lady with the walker was a care provider for the neighbor lady in the wheelchair. And she just broke down in tears, and it was such an emotional event. And after we made our deliveries and prayed with everyone, we were driving home, and Michelle told me this story. So I looked at her. I said, we've been equipped to be able to make a difference. So tomorrow we're going out, and we're gonna feed that entire community. Just because. And when we do things like that, it wasn't real comfortable at first, right? To knock on someone's door, a stranger's door. Right. Number one, to be in a unfamiliar surrounding, right? Knock on the door. You don't know what's on the other side of the door, right? So it's uncomfortable. And then to say, okay, that we're from Healing Place Church here in Denham Springs, and we want to bless you with some groceries, and we'd also like to pray with you. Can we pray with you? Which is uncomfortable in itself, right? But by stepping out of our comfort zone and putting ourselves out there, amazing things happen. So we're excited about that. Some other projects that are going on as well. Since the last time we spoke, the business side is taking shape. So we've actually put things in motion now, and business wise, done some things that are business minded, and treating it like a business. And one thing that we do is through this business / ministry, because that's exactly what it is.
That's what it is. I was going to say the same thing. You find those people will find you.
It has enabled us through the support of the purchases of the book. Yes. and the support of some small cooking engagements that I've been able to feed some folks, and through that has equipped us to be able to support things like feeding the elderly this weekend, things like our support of nonprofits like St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and other nonprofits, and other things that go on that come up. I've got a friend of mine that I was in the service with, and he lives in Missouri, and here I am in South Louisiana, right? Well, his father passed away 3 years ago, and since that time, he has his dad was a welder, a jack of all trades. Yeah, he helped his small town community till the very end. I mean, if anybody needed something, they knew that they could come to Leo Montier and say, "Mr. Leo, I need some help," and he was there. So what my friend Dale did is he created a scholarship for vocational technical students. So we were able to participate in that as well, all because I stepped out of my comfort zone, put some recipes together, and just shared stories from my life that it's my desire to be able to, as you read that story, to reflect on your life, and I'm sure we've got some shared experiences along the way, right? So that's what that's all about, and it's just fun. I enjoy, my passion for cooking is grown as I've grown older. It's not about me anymore. It's not about me. As we grow a little bit, right? When we're a little bit younger, a lot of times it's about me. Okay, it's what can I get? What can I do? How's this going to benefit me? Right. And as we mature, not only in our mental faculties, but in our physical being and our spiritual being, as we mature, we realize there comes a time where it's not about me. It's about you, and what can I do to help you? What can I do to serve you? And that's really what it has become, because I had no idea that I would be, a year and a half ago, I had no idea that I would be sitting on a YouTube channel with LadyMyya talking about inspiration and motivation and cooking and food and serving. So yeah, step out of that comfort zone and see what happens.
This is definitely, your ministry is definitely a blessing. Because when you told me about the story, when we spoke with your interview, you told me about your next door neighbors, and I was just like, something just said, "Oh no, this is his ministry, but he doesn't know how far he's gonna go in this thing. He's just not ready yet." And I'm like, "Oh, does he know that?"
And I still don't know. I still don't know where this is going, but I'm just enjoying. I'm enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying seeing what God's able to do, the provision that He gives, and the lives that are impacted. And that's the thing. We have a choice every day to make someone's life better.
Yes.
And John Maxwell says, people don't care how much you know until they know
how much you care.
Exactly, right. And so as I shared in our other discussion about you can't pour from an empty bucket. Okay, this was a hollow shell 4 years ago. It was very hollow, and I'm just thankful that I was able to partner up with some mentors and that spoke life into me and equip me so I can go out and pass that along.
Yes. Oh, well, the hollow shell. There's something I've heard about that. A lot of times God allows you to be hollow so he can rebuild. And so that rebuild came in right on time for him to build you the way he needed you to be for your ministry. And that's such a blessing because a lot of the times we have so many things just stuck in the way of the things that he's trying to prepare us for, but we're holding on to him. And when we hold on to it, there ain't nothing we can do with it. There's nothing you can, oh, well, I'm bored. I don't know what I can do. I'm supposed to be helping somebody, but I can't even really do it all together with all my faculties because I don't even have a room. But you don't have a room, and now you're empty. Now I can use you. Now I can see where I can have you do more now than you would have been able to do at one point in time. And I think that's, dude, that is something huge. That is huge, huge, huge. I
Yeah,
love that.
a great point about the hollow shell. I love that. I love that.
Hey, he gotta make room for himself. He like, look, I can't be at somebody's house and they ain't got room for me.
Come on now. Come on.
Let's do it. Like,
Ooh,
we don't have no room here,
we
no
going to
room in the
church
inn,
up in
right?
here, girl.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Said no room in the
Yes.
inn. Like, no, I'm gonna make room. Gosh darn it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
make it happen. I
Yeah,
love
watch
your
me.
Yes, I just love everything you stand for because you're such, I mean, just a great guy and you're always willing to help. You're always willing to check on people and different things like that. I'm like, I haven't seen that in so long, like that used to be my grandma. My grandma used to check on everybody and like, she was like, oh, you need to come and get a plate. Come on over to my house.
Mm,
She was always across the street from everybody. I'm like, how you across the street from everybody? It's like, oh, that's okay. They gonna come
yeah,
in the house.
yeah, and it's just it's a I really can't really pinpoint it. It's it has really become what if I'm going to be known for something. I'm very very thankful that people are knowing me for helping and knowing me for serving. 2 years ago, I I started doing a word for the year in January. Well, last year in 2021, my word was serve.
Ooh.
And man, did I not have a clue what was fixing to happen.
What service really was. Huh?
And I learned because when I committed to that and committed uh, to focusing on serving,
Right.
it became opportunities just became very clear,
Yes.
very clear. And this year I didn't obviously I didn't use serve, but I've used the word intentional. And so at the beginning of every year, I've got a friend of mine that she introduced me to that concept, and I was like, you know what, that's a great idea. I like it. I think I'm going to do that, and so we have, and what it has done is helped me to be a little bit more laser focused
Right.
on one area. And if we can get better, we can get 1% better tomorrow or today than what we were yesterday
Mm-hmm.
on that particular thing. then the growth that we're going to have is going to be incredible. It's going to be, it takes consistency, and if we do it day in and day out, it's because now it becomes you. You know, it's magic. And you'll look back and say, and you'll start reflecting and be like, yeah, that's when things really started to happen. So yeah.
Yes. But you know what? We can look at these things as always a lesson and a blessing. I look at it as if when we try and we start on something, or if we allow God to really make a move in our lives to do what it is that He will in our lives, because you know when you ask, oh, He said, Lord, you ain't ready, but okay.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, like I'll definitely do it for you and with you and everything. I don't have a problem with it. However, most people, they underestimate what they're going to get. You know, it's just, well, all I wanted was, and no, like if you're not gonna go all the way, just don't go. Just don't do it. Or get
Yeah.
some help. You can get help. You know, there's other people that also have a heart like you, or there are also people that are willing to help. And so, I mean, it just takes, you know, it takes a little something to get in that place. But once you get there, it's
Right.
wonderful.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. It's amazing, the journey
yeah,
and the struggles, the challenges that we go through.
yeah,
You know, as we kind of bring it back into challenging.
yes,
You know, the challenge is there, and we can hide from it,
right.
but it's not going to go away.
Mm-mm. It ain't
You
going.
know, that doesn't matter what the challenge is. I mean, and I say that it doesn't matter. Not that it doesn't matter, because it matters. The challenges that we face matter, because that is what's molding us,
Right.
right? That those life experiences. Our
Mm.
daughter Jackie, uh, I mentioned earlier that Colton, our grandson, had recently come back from St. Jude. Well,
Mm.
she was up there as the sole caregiver because of the pandemic.
Right.
Only one parent was able to go up there.
Yeah.
So she bared the brunt of everything with Colton, right? And the strength that she had and that she has shown is just incredible. And she was like, Pops, it's you know, it's you I don't have a choice.
Mm.
That's my baby.
Yes.
And I'm not leaving my baby,
I know
you
that's right.
know, you know, so the challenge that she is going through and has gone through, and not just her alone, because she has a tremendous support staff,
Mm.
from her husband on down, grandparents, friends, extended family. But the challenges that she is going through and her family are going through is equipping her,
Yes.
and she's already been able to draw on that and speak to other mothers of cancer patients, of children cancer patients, and breathe life into them. So yeah, it's the things that we face. uh, you know, yeah, it's tough when we face them, but the joy that we're going to have later down the road by
Mm.
being able to help someone, and even just being a friend and talking to them.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times somebody just needs a phone call, Hey man, I was just thinking about you. So I figured if I'm thinking about you, I might as well pick up the phone and call you and let you know I was thinking about you. What a difference that makes, right?
Mm-hmm. Look, I just want somebody to call me every now and again. I'm just kidding. But I understand that because a lot of the times we get so overwhelmed. We get overwhelmed with the things that we believe that are important to us. And then we get to the point of we can like, okay, your sister girl right here can burn herself out real fast. It don't take long. It's like, do I have to do one more? Okay, let's do it. But at the same time, when you get that smile, when you get that person that's grateful for just being in the room or just having a conversation, it really fills my heart and makes it glad. Because I mean, this job is not like it's not hard, but it's very taxful. Like I mean,
Yes.
a lot of different things and moving parts. I mean, I'm harassing folks on a daily basis, so.
Yeah, I'm finding that out as a young entrepreneur that it's got its own challenges in itself.
Yeah.
Things that you don't even think of,
Right.
and then all of a sudden it's like, what? I got to,
I know.
man, that really?
Are you
I,
serious?
I got to do that?
It goes a long way.
And so by surrounding ourselves with those that have walked that journey,
Yes. Yeah.
and opening ourselves up to it and to some coaching and some mentoring,
Yeah.
and by doing that, we are now equipping ourselves to be a mentor as well. And somebody, a young entrepreneur coming up, 4 years from now, 5 years from now,
Yeah.
is wanting to doing a startup of a business.
Right.
You can sit there and say, look, you might want to think about this. I'm not going to tell you how, I don't want to tell you how to run your business
No.
because that's your baby. But consider this, if you will, and pass that on. And that's the beauty of collaboration, the beauty of working together, crossing barriers,
Yeah.
and being open to coaching and being open to receiving coaching.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's a big thing because not everybody's willing to receive. They just feel like they can do it on their own, and you can't see everything in business if you don't know where to look. And so that's a big thing with me and my friends. Of course, a lot of my friends are coaches, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Cause see, my niche is so much more vast. In a way, not every way,
Mm-hmm.
but in a way that I take on too much, sir. I do.
It can feel overwhelming, can it? It really can, and it can really feel like, okay, I got to breathe.
Yes. I'm gonna
And
need a vacation.
that's when you recognize that, that's when you take that moment, because that's, I call them God winks. you know
Right.
we got to pay attention to God winks.
You do.
God's gonna let us know, and he's not gonna not let us know.
Right. And
He's not.
if he don't let you know,
Yeah,
your body will. Just
exactly.
letting
And
you know.
so he's got a way of getting our attention.
True. Very
Excuse me. But yeah, it's all about just helping your fellow man, your
true.
fellow woman, just making a positive impact in somebody else's life. And that's what inspired cooking, and that's what Clay Morris has become. I mean, I just really have a heart to serve people. I really have a heart to help people. Michelle, sometimes she's like, you're going to get shot one day. Because because I just want to help so much that sometimes I do have blinders, and I don't see the bigger picture of the dangers that I may be putting myself in.
God got your back, sir.
And so, just a quick story. During right after the hurricane, I was making a fuel run to get gas for generators, and I had some fuel cans in the back of my truck, and I saw this gentleman, this young man walking down the highway. Someone told me to stop. He was on a cell phone, and I was like, stop. So I stopped, and his name was Joseph.
Oh, wow.
And I had to drive to get gas. I had to drive 45 minutes to find a gas station without a long line, because the gas was there was an extreme shortage on gasoline at the time, right after the hurricane. This was like 4 days after the storm, so everything was still in a shambles. So Joseph and I, we had some conversation, and Joseph he told me, he said, man, I said, where are you going? He said, I'm just going out of town. I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you what, are you thirsty? You need some water? Because I had a cooler with ice water and stuff. I said, look, let's grab a couple bottles of water, jump in the cab of the truck. We'll get on the road, and we'll see where it ends up. So we started talking, and I found out that the guy he was on the phone with was his brother, who was not wanting him to remove himself from the situation that he was in. And he realized that he was hanging around with uncomplimentary company, if you will, putting himself in bad situations and constantly paying the price for those choices.
Right.
So we talked, and I still got his number in my cell phone, and he's hopefully he still has mine, because I made him save it. And I told him, I said, Joseph, I said, there's a reason why I stopped. I said, I don't know the reason. I said, but I think I'm picking up on the reason.
Right.
And so we had a 30-minute conversation, and I dropped him off at the gas station where I ended up stopping at, and bought him some lunch, and and just helped him out and listened to Joseph tell me his story and the way he opened up, and which is like, he was so appreciative that somebody stopped, and and so that was a good feeling, and it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I could have passed him up. I could have kept going, and but something told me to stop, and that's those God winks we talk about, right? So and he was like, man, you. And I shared a little bit about what I've got going on with cooking and everything, and my joy, the joy that I get from feeding people, and he said, man, when I come back to town, I'm gonna look you up. I said, you do that, and I tell you what, I promise you'll have a hot meal. So it's people that are put in our path, that we can make an impact in. Like I said before in our previous discussion, Lady Myya, we've all got an impact zone.
Yeah.
If we focus on making an impact in our impact zone, that's going to cause that ripple effect. Tim Tebow's mother, wrote a book called Ripple Effects. and it talks about from the example of dropping a pebble in a lake, and how it just the ripple effect keeps going. Well, just the little things that we do on a day in to day out basis, even a smile, opening the door for someone going into the supermarket, pushing their grocery cart, their empty grocery cart back to please let me take care of that for you, ma'am. And taking the grocery cart and putting it up, and just making our world a better place.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about.
I you hear stories, but to see the people's face, just to see the joy, just to see, why, the light up, for the people that are like being indulged in this type of thing. It's great, because it's just like, do you understand how many times we wish somebody would just do a little something? Come on, help us, help you, and I'm big on that, because I love helping people, especially when I can help. I'd be like, all right, let's do this. Get in my car. I don't care. And
Yeah.
like, okay. And my husband, he get on me. I was like, oh, well, it's done now. I mean, they home.
Yeah. We have a tendency to want to reach out, right? Mm-hmm. And we're equipped. God has equipped us with everything that we need to make that impact. Mm-hmm. We just have to step out and make the impact, and just be bold with it, and just say, hey, let me. I'm gonna buy that person behind me. Behind me, I'm gonna pay for their groceries, mm-hmm. or something even as small as a cup of coffee. There's I've got another friend of mine I was in the service with, and I've retired military, and so did Tony. He and I have been best friends since. There's a story in my book about the first day that we met, and the goings on that happened, and how we've maintained that relationship for going on 40 years now. Wow. But he seeks out older retirees and older veterans. We're in a restaurant, and he intentionally seeks them out, and makes the intentional effort to anonymously pay for their meal. Mm-hmm. It's things like that that make a difference in people's lives. It's so small. Yes. And so we all have a background. We've all got that hollow shell that we used to be, and as we grow, and some of us may be in a hollow state right now, but I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be. We don't have to be hollow, because we've got access to any vehicle we want. We can go on a dealership lot, God's dealership lot, and pick any vehicle we want, and use that vehicle to make a difference. God gives us those vehicles, so we can.
Every time, like
0% down, no monthly note. Bang.
You took me back to the dealership, sir. I used to be a used car dealer.
So, oh, did you really? Yeah. I've got a very, very good friend of mine that he's been in the auto industry for, I think, 35 years now. Oh, wow. And I've actually tuned into another auto guy He's got his own morning show. Glenn Lundy. If you guys want to tune into some inspiration, motivation, and education, look up hashtag Rise and Grind for Glenn Lundy. I'll go ahead and give him a plug because he's made a difference in my life. Is the way I start my day, and that, and then Nat Banks is another guy I listen to, and I think you're familiar with Nat. He's jumped on a couple of forums that you and I have been in together. He's got his morning show, equipping you for greatness, and there's 11 words that he says every show. Today is my day. My positivity is contagious, and I love myself. Because if we can love ourselves, we're going to be able to love everybody else and be able to make that difference. So those are some things that have impacted my life, that have helped me become who I am and where I'm going. Of course, there's some other mentors as well, and the guy that I told you about that gave me the challenge for personal growth. Dean is a very, very good friend of mine, and he challenged me to 21 days of reading in a book, reading a good, positive book, whether it was 5 pages, 10 pages, 2 pages, or 20 pages. Right. Read consistently every day, and by day 10. If I didn't pick up that book, I felt a little off kilter.
Yeah.
So if you wanna fill your bucket, start diving into some good books. Things that make a difference.
Yes, definitely. Tell everyone how they can get a hold of you, beloved.
Okay, well, I would love to do that. I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can go to my website as well, inspiredcookingwithclaymorris.com. I'll be in the middle of January. I'm going to be revamping the website. A little improvement, and so I'm excited about that. And you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me by email or hit me up on Facebook. I've got. You can find me Clay Morris, my personal page. I'm an open book, and so just like you said a while ago, LadyMyya, I'm an open book, and I would love to connect and love to talk and help you out. And so on Facebook, I've got my personal page. I've also got Clay Morris Author, which is my business page. And I've also recently created a Facebook group called Inspired Cooking, which in January, the group doesn't know it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of heads up that in January, I'm going to be starting a weekly live broadcast on Facebook Live in my Inspired Cooking group, and we're gonna this will be about 15 minutes a week, a little inspiration, a little motivation, a little God's word, and a little cooking, a little recipe, and we're excited about that because it's going to be a fun time, and so. We can look at that, and I'm also on Instagram as well. Inspired Cooking with Clay. So that's how to get a hold to me.
Hey, you know what? I believe that they will, because it's gonna it's gonna be a little bit here and a little bit of there, and they're gonna fall in love with it. All they have to do is listen. And so, with the word of the day and the whole 9, it's something to look forward to, just to make sure that they are okay going forward and with life and how they see it and predict it. Those are great things, definitely. And you don't have you have a lot of podcasts. that do little things, or what have you. But if you're listening to Clay right now, I mean, this brother is genuine, and like, I mean, everything, like, he says it with such zeal, and like, you can just tell, like, his heart is so big, and you just want to always, like, look, tell me, Clay, what you need. Just tell me what you need, sir. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just tell me what you need. But I'm so appreciative of you being on here live with Lady Myya, and yes, Mr. Clay Morris. And I only hope you guys can really reach out to him, give him some love, please, because we all gonna use a little. Definitely.
Definitely.
But yes, definitely. If there's anything else, we got like 2 minutes. Um, the floor is yours, beloved.
Oh, Lady Maya, you are so amazing. I mean, golly, I'm not even going to be able to walk out the door, man. My head's not going to fit. But I mean, just thank you so much. I mean, it has been an enjoyable hour. It really has. And I've got about a minute left. So what I'm going to say is the basically, if we look in God's word, in Luke verse 6, or chapter 6, verse 38, and I've got to pull. Ooh, sorry about that, but I've got it pulled up on my phone here, and this is a key verse that I've anchored my business on. It says, "Give, and it will be given to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be put into your bosom. For with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back to you." Give from the heart. And I'll challenge you right now. I'll challenge you to try God. Try to outgive God. And then you reach out to me and let me know. Let me know what happened, because I'm here to tell you, you can't outgive God. No matter what you do, you can't outgive my God. It's not going to happen. But if you give from the heart and give genuinely, you will be blessed. You can't imagine the blessing. So thank you, Lady Myya. I love it. I love you. I love your show. And I love all your fans. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a blessed night and a Merry Christmas coming up right around the corner. 22 days.
Oh, wow. Seems so far away. Still. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us. I really hope that you got something good out of this. I will definitely like to repost, redo, everything, okay? Because this is such a great space, especially with Mr. Clay Morris. And this is just phenomenal. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great night.
Good night, Mayan tribe. Love y'all.